his mouth shut, pulled the dagger from the top of his boot, and slashed the traces on his side. "Here, use this." He passed her his knife, handle first. She grabbed it, cut the last strap, and proceeded to untangle the horse's legs with very little care for life and limb. Charlie grabbed the bridle of her horses while hanging on to his own. The young woman straightened. She was tall, he realized, her bright sapphire eyes level with his mouth. "Thank you." She dragged strands of hair back from her face and grinned. "The damned axle snapped. I must have been going too fast." Another Letty laid with her coachman-style language. "You were lucky I managed to stop." He glanced around. "Where is your groom?" No gently bred female travelled alone. "Sure," she waved a dismissive hand. "I only went to Skepton. I don't need a groom for such a short journey." "Reckless, as well as a menace on the road?" "It seems on this occasion you do." He huffed out a breath. He couldn't leave her stranded on the side of the road with night falling. "A broken axle, you say?" It might be a strap, in which case he might be able to fix it. "Hold the horses for a moment, please." With the confidence in her abilities he didn't usually feel around females, he left her holding the horses and went to the back of her carriage. He crouched down beside the wheel and parted the long yellowed grass on the verge. Blast! No fixing that. The axle had snapped clean in two near the offside wheel. She must have hit the verge at speed to do so much damage. He returned to her. "No hope of a makeshift repair, I'm afraid. I'll drive you home." "That's reet kind of you," she said, her Yorkshire accent stronger than ever. Then she smiled. It was as if he'd looked straight at the sun. The smile on her lips warmed him from the inside out. Lovely. A distraction he did not need. He glared at her. "Where do you live?" His tone sounded begrudging, and so it should. The careless wench could have killed them both, or damaged some very fine horses. She'd been lucky, and she should not be driving around the countryside without a groom. Her smile disappeared. She cocked her head on one side. "No need to trouble. I'll ride." She jerked her chin towards her team. "One is lame, the other is so nervous it is sweating and likely to bolt. It is my duty to see you safely home." And his pleasure, apparently, from the stirring in his blood. Damn it. He looked up at the sky, took in the fading light. He'd be finding his way to Skepton in the dark if they didn't get started. "I insist." "Do you, by gum?" she laughed, probably at the displeasure on his face. "I'll not deny you your way, if you'll tie these beasts on behind." Kind of her to oblige him. Leaving her with his horses, grateful they were tired enough not to protest a stranger's hand, he led her team to the back of the curricle and jury-rigged a leading string. Returning to the girl, he shouted over the rising wind, "I'm going to push your vehicle further off the road." He strode to her wrecked equipage, put his shoulder to the footboard and pushed. The phaeton, already teetering on the brink of the shallow ditch, slid down the bank, its poles tilted to the sky. No one would run into it in the dark. "Strong lad!" she yelled. Good God, he almost felt like preening. He suppressed an urge to grin, climbed up onto his box and steadied his team. The perfectly matched bays shifted restlessly, probably feeling the chill as well as the panic of the other horses. "Can you climb up by yourself?" he asked, controlling the beasts through the reins. She hopped up nimbly. He caught a brief glimpse of sensible leather ankle boots and a silk stocking-clad calf amid the fur lining of her driving coat before she settled herself on the seat. A very neatly turned calf, slender and sweetly curved. Bloody hell. "Which way?" "You'll have to turn around. I was on my way home from Skepton." Skepton was at least 5 miles on, a mill town, not a place a respectable female went without a groom. Just what sort of woman was she? Not gently bred, obviously, despite the fine clothes. Apparently, he was soon to find out.